on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So today's video I'm going to do a little spiel about frame straightening. What I got here is I got an old square body Blazer, got hit hard on the driver's side frame rail, crumpled it all up, and I have a front frame section from Junkyard over here that I'm going to use to section it in. But I'm going to show you basically the setup, how to set it up, how to measure it, and what to look for while you're pulling it so you don't create more damage. So anyways, let me turn this camera around and I'll show you how I set this thing up. Alright, so here it is. Got a little square body Blazer. You can see here on the driver frame rail it got hit pretty hard. So what they typically do, a lot of people, they'll think, I suppose, you can see the passenger side here with the difference, but a lot of people's mentality is on a quick fix is, oh, I could just go to a junkyard, get a frame section, cut that one and put it on, everything's cool. The theory is right on that, but what's wrong is when it gets hit hard like this in the front end, it actually pushes the whole frame rail all the way back from under the cab. So if you ever see a vehicle going down the road sideways, this is 9 times out of 10 the reason why, because it's out of alignment. It's what's called a diamond, and the diamond is because the frame rail is actually pushed back. So instead of a square in the perimeter, it's actually pushed into like a diamond. So the first thing that I do is I do a cross measurement. So basically, I have a tram gauge. You can use plumb bobs and like a tape measure. So you want to find 2 spots that are similar on both sides. Now take it for granted that this side's a little wadded up, but at least it'll give you a reference. And then you find 2 spots that are similar on the back side as well. So, and right here, this is a cross member. It's the same on both sides. So I'll put it in this hole on the passenger side, and then I'll go to the driver frame rail, and then I'll do vice versa on the other side. So in measuring it, what that told me is this side is about 1 inch back, and I'll show you the pictures from that. So what I do is before I make the pull on the rack, and if you're not familiar with a rack, this is what's known as a 360-degree rack, because the towers actually go all the way around. They have 180 racks, which you can only pull from one end. But anyways, if you have a rack and you have towers, this is a pretty simple thing. So what I need to do is anchor down this whole passenger side so this frame rail doesn't move. So I double wrap the chains around the frame, and then I bring it around into like a little binder. So I put 2 of those on one side, on the side, because I basically want to keep this side from moving, so this passenger side I want to stay still so I can bring the other side ahead. And then the very back over here, a lot of times when you're pulling on the driver frame rail, it's going to try and pull the vehicle out on the back side. So this just keeps the back end stationary. So once I get all that done, then you'll be able to see. But so to put it in very simple terms, for what you're looking at and what you're looking for, I got a little arts and crafts project here. Don't laugh, but this actually makes a lot of sense right here. So let's take, this is the vehicle. Let's say this is the passenger side frame rail, and this is the driver side frame rail. If it gets hit in an accident and it pushes it like that, now the square is now what's known as a diamond. So that's when people say, hey, I got a diamond in the frame. It doesn't mean there's a diamond on one frame rail. It means both frame rails combined equal a diamond. So when you station this whole thing down, you tie this rail down here, rail down here. In theory, when you hook the rack up and you pull it, you're pulling it back, and you're pulling it back into square. So it's a pretty simple pull, but like I said, so this makes sense as for why I anchor down this rail, but I'll show you why I do the side anchor in the back. So this side, I had to tape, just to give you a better idea. So this rail's already tied down, and let's say I didn't tie the back end down. Once I start pulling, you'll see it actually turns sideways. So that's the back end swaying over. So by putting a chain over here onto the back end, it eliminates that. So this is strapped down, the back end from swaying is strapped down, and then when I make the pull, all the energy is going into this rail and pulling it. It's a very simple pull. But the problem is, well, not the problem, but the time consuming part is measuring everything, understanding what you're seeing, making the determination. Obviously, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that this rail is pretty damaged right there, but the pull is literally going to be about a minute long, if that. It's all the setup, it's all the measuring. So one last thing is I put the boards over here. So when I do start pulling it, sometimes it puts a lot of pressure on the suspension. So the boards actually stop that. So the frame will sit on the boards and then it'll essentially slide, you know, pretty easy once I start pulling it, because I don't want to bottom out the suspension by pulling it. Not that I'm pulling down, but once you put a load on the frame and everything else is strapped down, the car likes to do funny things. So you just try and limit all the movements that you have. But anyways, let me put the little video of actually pulling it, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully you found this useful. Thanks for watching.